Did it work?
No,
What the fuck, man?
I don't know.
Huh.
It worked the last time.
Yeah.
You want me to try and call you back, or do you want to wait like a couple minutes and try and call me back?
Let me try to call you back.
Okay.
I don't know,
Go
man.
ahead. I still don't see you. I'm thinking it might be your camera, bro. Did you try unhooking your camera and then hooking it back up?
Yeah.
Do you have good internet connection right now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
What in the hell?
I don't know, buddy.
Because it can't be the stream because I turned my camera off and it still didn't work.
So your camera's not even working for the stream,
No, my camera's working for the stream. I'm
but
saying,
it's just not working for us.
yeah,
Huh.
that's weird.
But you can see me, right?
Yeah,
I can't see you at all.
that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know. What are we gonna do, man?
Uh,
Maybe you gotta reboot your computer? I don't know. You're the technical wizard here, bro.
let me call you back again, Chris.
All right. Still nothing, bro. I don't know, bro.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I guess we could just do this audio call.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you want to just do that?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to, man.
Right. You because the camera obviously is not working, so I just turned off my video.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's no point if I can't see you, might as well just do an audio call.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so should we just get started?
Yep. Let's do this, man.
Okay, so my first topic is Tony Khan says he is open to working with WWE.
Yep.
But I don't see that ever happening.
No.
Because of the contrast of styles.
Yeah.
Because AEW is a professional wrestling company.
Uh huh.
WWE is sports entertainment.
Uh huh.
Whereas for the wrestlers in AEW, they actually have wrestling matches.
That's
I'm not
true.
saying WWE doesn't have good wrestlers. They do. But honestly, I think AEW has a better depth of talent.
Yeah.
And WWE, like when they get good wrestlers, they don't actually let them wrestle. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, what was the dude's name? Butch before when he was in NXT.
Oh, Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne, yeah. That is a
Yeah.
stupid gimmick they gave him.
It was.
And you know, like a guy like Pete Dunne, he's wasting his talent being Sheamus' sidekick.
Yeah.
And AEW just has a plethora of younger talent and
Yep.
that they utilize. But WWE, they have all this young talent that they don't even use.
Yeah. That's true, man.
And that's where, like, I would say, like, where AEW has the edge on WWE.
Uh huh.
Because they actually let their younger talent shine.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, and like WWE, yeah, okay, they gave Austin Theory the Money in the Bank. Okay, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But we all know how long is that really going to last?
Not long.
And with Vince McMahon not being there, not being in control, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure he still has some control. I'm sure he calls them and tells them what he wants to see.
Yeah.
But Vince doesn't watch any other wrestling.
No, that's what I was saying on the stream earlier. Vince don't keep up with wrestling anymore.
No.
He used to.
Well, when WCW was around, he did, but after that, when he didn't have any competition,
Yeah.
he just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like Vince even admitted he did not know who AJ Styles was.
No, he
He
didn't.
had no clue was who AJ Styles was.
No clue.
Triple H who was like, "Hey, this guy, he's great. He's a great wrestler. We should bring him in."
Yeah.
Vince was even hesitant about that. He was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know the guy." And
Yeah.
Triple H showed him some of his highlights, and he said, "Oh, this guy's amazing. Yeah, let's sign him."
Yep. He
That
sure
tells
did.
you. That tells you that Tony Khan is ahead of the curve than over Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Tony Khan is a professional wrestling fan.
Yep.
So he knew who Bryan Danielson was. He knew who Jon Moxley was before he was even Jon Moxley. Before he was Dean Ambrose, he was Jon Moxley.
Yep. Hold on, yo.
Okay.
Let me plug this in real quick. So, $15 giveaway is still going. Follow the rules in the description. And at the end of the show, I will pull your name and I will call your name on the show. So when you hear your name, PM me on Facebook or Twitter, whichever one you liked me on, and then email me your PM me your email on Facebook or Twitter. Then I will email you, and then you have 24 hours to reply to the email. If you don't reply to the email in the 24 hours, then I will pull another name. Go ahead, yo.
Okay, where was I? I was on a roll too,
Yeah,
but I just don't see the contrast of styles suiting each other. Granted, I think a major pay per view would draw money for both promotions
that's true.
because you think about it, you could have a John Moxley versus Roman Reigns. You could have the Usos versus the Young Bucks. You could have, Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory. You could have so many choices.
Yeah,
Almost versus Lance Archer.
yeah,
Or you could even do like a Survivor Series type style match
yeah.
with the Elite versus the Bloodline or something.
Uh huh.
You could do something like that,
Oh yeah. There's multiple. There's multiple opportunities of dream matches if WWE decides to do a big show like with AEW.
Because
But
you look at, you watch Forbidden Door, right?
yep,
What did you think of that?
it was great.
Do you think AEW should do that yearly?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
I agree. I
But
thought the matches were well put together. I mean, match of the night for me was Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay.
you watch Dynamite yet?
Yeah, I did.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it.
Did you? What was your best part of it?
My best part of Dynamite was probably Wardlow winning the TNT title.
Nice.
That's probably, I mean, even though the Storm kind of knocked the match out, I didn't really get to see it all, so had to watch it on that site you gave me.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Storm that we had, it kind of knocked out the cable.
Yeah.
So I got to see, like, 2 minutes of the match. And I thought Brody King and Moxley was a pretty good one, too.
Yeah. Brody. That's who I was talking about. I couldn't remember his name when I was streaming earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Moxley retained the belt. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, Moxley retained, which I figured he would.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, they're waiting for the showdown with him and Punk.
Yeah.
Whenever Punk comes back. Which, from what I gathered, I heard he's recovering well and, like, he should be back by late September or early October.
Right.
From what I read about it. Like, they're thinking late September, maybe early October. So, how about this Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho and a barbed wire match
Really?
at Fyter Fest?
That should be a good one.
I'm not sure if the ropes are going to be barbed wired, which you never know with AEW.
This is true. It's probably gonna be barbed wired.
Huh?
Probably gonna be barbed wired.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, the ropes are going to be barbed wire, or there's going to be barbed wires all around the ring. It's going to be something that's going to have barbed wire.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be Jake Hagar versus Claudio Castagnoli. aka for you WWE fans, Cesaro.
Yeah.
Now, I never really thought Jake Hagar would be a big star in AEW, which he's not really. He's just more like Jericho's goon.
Uh huh.
I mean, because the guy is limited on the mic,
Yeah.
and he doesn't really have a personality.
Uh huh.
And he didn't have one in WWE when he was Jack Swagger.
It's true.
So I can kind of see him being a goon for the rest of his life,
Yeah, I
for
can see that.
the rest of his career, because he doesn't have a. At least Claudio has a personality.
Yeah.
Like, at least he's fun to watch in the ring. Jake Hagar, not really. Like, he's not really fun to watch because he has no personality.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I do agree, yo. Like, I don't get me wrong. I like Jake Hagar, but like his in ring skills is great. It's phenomenal. But when it comes down to mic skills, dude, when he's talking, there's nothing there.
I know. I know.
He's like, yeah, like, dude, put some more empathy on it.
Like, he's like, I'm going to beat your ass. And that's pretty much all he says.
Yeah,
Like, I'm going to beat your ass. And, that's pretty much it.
that's it.
And I'm like, okay, that's all you're going to say? Like, I'm going to beat your ass.
Yep,
Like, okay, whatever.
yep.
Now, okay, who is the better tag team? FTR or the Young Bucks?
FTO.
I agree.
So
Don't get me wrong, the Young Bucks are amazing. I
yeah,
love the Young Bucks.
yeah.
I do. But I just feel like as far as wrestling goes, as far as wrestling IQ,
Uh huh.
FTR has them beat.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks, they have great IQ and they're great. They're funny as hell on the mic.
Uh huh.
They have charisma. They have they have everything. If I had to give charisma, I'd give it to the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Everything is, and their in ring skills are phenomenal. But I still give that edge to FTR
Yeah.
because you look at every ball FTR has won. They've won the NXT Tag Team Championships. They've been the Raw Tag Team Champions. They've been the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. The IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And also the AAA Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gold that they've won.
It is.
And they're also former AEW Tag Team Champions too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So FTR to me, because of all the titles they've won, they have the edge over the Young Bucks.
I agree. Don't get me
Now,
wrong. I like the young Bucks, but when it comes to in-ring technical skills, FTO, hands down,
FTR
FTO.
they remind me of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson.
Yeah. Yep.
Like they remind me of that old school tag team style, which I love.
Yep.
I love that. I love their style. I love how these guys work. They're great in ring performers. And I just think them leaving WWE was the best thing for them.
Yeah.
Also, Sasha Banks, how about she changed her profile to professional wrestler?
I saw that.
Is she AEW bound?
I have no clue.
Here's my thing. If Tony Khan is going to sign Sasha Banks, he needs to have an insurance policy on her.
Yeah.
He needs to tell her, like, you come here, you can't do what you did in WWE.
Yep.
You can't be there, like, if things don't go your way, you can't just walk out. He's like, because if I'm going to pay, he needs to tell her, if I'm paying you, you can't be a crybaby here.
Yep.
He's like, and he needs to tell her, I will not put up with it. And I think that's why AEW has been hesitant on signing her.
Yeah.
Because of the way she is. Like, she walked out of WWE twice. You know?
Yep.
Nobody saw her for like 6 months the first time. And then she came back the second time. And then this time, her and Naomi, she convinces Naomi to walk out with her.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm thinking.
No, I think that was all Sasha Banks.
I do too. I think she was like, oh, we can do better elsewhere.
Yep.
But the thing is, once you develop a reputation like that, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot.
You do. You do.
Because another company is going to say, well, why should we sign?
Yeah.
You just walked out, or you just walked out you walked out as a champion. You put your belts down and walked away.
Yep.
Now, who's to say if we were to make you champion here and you lose the belt, who's to say you're not going to walk out on us?
Right.
Now, I don't know what actually happened behind the scenes with Banks and Naomi. I only know what hearsay.
Yeah.
That they were unhappy because they were supposed to lose in singles matches, blah blah blah, and they didn't like that and they walked out.
I heard something like that too.
But then I heard like Sasha Banks wasn't happy there for a while. Like she was told when she was going to come back, she was going to be SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And she was going to hold the belt for like a year. And then like they changed their mind and it was like, no, you're not going to hold it for a year. You're going to hold it for a couple months. Sasha Banks is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
She's a good wrestler. Is she great? No.
No. Is she
Is
good?
she?
Yes.
Huh?
Is she good? Yes.
Yes. Is she good on the mic? Yes. Is she good in the ring? Yes. Is she great in the ring? No.
No.
Toni Storm is a way better wrestler than Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa, better wrestler than Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I put Sasha Banks on Britt Baker's level. Britt Baker is an okay wrestler. Is she great? No. But her mic skills is what keeps her going.
Yeah.
Because I will put Britt Baker on a mic against any girl in the wrestling business.
Yep.
I will put Britt Baker above a lot of girls in the wrestling business.
Well, you heard about they making Austin Theory as the new John Cena.
Really?
Yep.
You see, I think of Austin Theory more like a Randy Orton type.
Yeah.
Like, because he doesn't have the size of Cena.
Yeah.
He's skinnier, he's muscular like Randy Orton.
Yep.
Like, Randy Orton was never a big guy. Like, he wasn't like super muscular like John Cena was.
Yeah.
So it would be best to put Theory more in of a Randy Orton type situation.
I agree. But you know, You know, I like Theory, but in the future, do you really think that he'd be as good as Orton though?
No.
Me neither.
The only thing that hindered Randy Orton was his lack thereof titles. I mean, yes, he's a 13 or 14-time champion, 13-time champion, whatever. But how memorable were his reigns?
Not very memorable.
Like his only feuds that really got people's attention was John Cena
Yeah.
and The Undertaker. Those
Yep.
were the only feuds that actually really made Randy Orton. I mean, and when he was wrestling Taker, he wasn't even champion.
Yeah. And you know, out of all Randy Orton's title reigns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy I'm saying this, but people is gonna talk more about when Mick Foley won the belt than when Randy Orton won all the belts.
Exactly. Okay, yes. When he beat Triple H the first time, that was probably his most memorable run
Yeah.
because he was a young Randy Orton. You know, he was fueled, he was fired up, he was excited.
Yeah.
But it's probably his most memorable title win
I agree.
because it was the first one.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than the matches he's had with John Cena, which was he probably had about 30 matches with John Cena
Yeah.
for the title, and he's probably lost about 25 of them.
Yeah. Yep. I was talking about when Ravishing Rick Rude had that feud with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, yes.
That was so great. And another Roberts feud was good was with him and Savage.
Talking about Rick Rude and Savage or Jake?
Jake and Savage.
See, that one was less memorable for me
Uh huh.
because I mean, I just felt like the chemistry between Savage and Jake Roberts wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite feuds of Jake's was honestly with when him and Piper had that feud.
Uh huh.
That was probably more memorable for me.
Yeah. That was a good one too.
Because I mean, who could forget the street fight they had?
Yes. Yep.
They had that street fight, and Piper, and he threw Piper's head through a car window, and
Yep.
then he threw Piper in the car, and he drove off with Piper in the back seat.
Yep.
And then they end up fighting somewhere, and then Piper gets up front, and they're in a parking lot somewhere, and they're just brawling.
Yep.
And it was just, I don't know how the referee got there, but they're just brawling all through this parking lot, both of them bloody as hell.
Yeah.
That to me was one of Jake's better feuds.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake the Snake Roberts was a great. His wrestling IQ is phenomenal.
Yeah. That reminds me with at WrestleMania. I don't remember. Maybe it was WrestleMania 12 when Piper versus Goldust in the Backstreet
Yes.
Brawl.
Yeah,
Yeah. Piper beat the shit out of Dusty Rhodes.
Goldust.
Goldust, yeah. He beat the fuck out of him.
It's a shame though that Dustin Rhodes never got prominence in WWE.
You mean when he was Goldust?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Dustin was a way better wrestler than to be Goldust.
Oh yeah, I th- I don't know if the chat is going to agree with me. Let me know if you agree with me on this. But I thought Dustin was way better than his father. In
I
ring,
agree with you.
in ring. A mic, maybe not, but in ring, yeah,
Well, Dusty wrestled in an era where like big moves wasn't a big thing.
that's true.
Big personalities were bigger than the wrestling ability.
Yeah,
You know, because back then you had all these big personalities.
yeah.
You know, you had larger than life characters.
I mean, you had Holly Race, you had Ric Flair, you had Von Erichs. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, you had Hogan, you had this guy, you had that guy.
Yeah,
You had all these big personalities, but limited wrestling skills.
yeah,
And nowadays, people focus more on the wrestling than they do the personalities.
yeah. And I tell you what, if we're gonna talk about wrestling back then, I don't care. Ain't nobody touches the Von Erichs in wrestling back then. Like when
Oh,
it comes to mat skill, Von Erichs.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I will give the Freebirds credit. You that?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
I will give the Freebirds credit because if it wasn't for the Freebirds, there were no Von Erichs.
That's true. That's true because
Yeah.
that feud with Freeborn Von Erichs, that's what made both of them.
Oh yeah, because you know so many classic matches between the two groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael DSAs and coming down strutting, singing. What was the song?
Bad Street USA.
Yeah, bad. He come down singing "Bad Street USA." Michael Hayes was a fucking rock star.
Yep. Yep. And I still say Freeborns was the first one that used music.
I think they were the first ones to use original music.
Maybe. Something like that.
I mean, yeah, everybody had their music, but like nobody had like lyrics to their music.
Uh huh.
Nobody had lyrics to their music, and I think Michael Hayes was like, "Hey, you know what we should do? We should write a song, and we should play these
Yeah.
lyrics in it. Everybody would just be partying, having a good time when they see them, even though they were bad guys. Everybody loved them.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loved Devon Erics too, but everybody kind of like went more towards them because they were different,
Yeah.
you know. And I think the Freebirds kind of launched the era of big personalities
Yeah.
because I mean, Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I think without the Freebirds, Dusty Rhodes wouldn't have been who Dusty Rhodes was.
That's true.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, the whole. When you think about Dusty, you have to think about the Four Horsemen. Have to.
well, yeah, because he feuded with the Horsemen, and it was
For
usually Dusty versus the Horsemen.
for a long ass time, too. Yep.
Yeah, it was like every time Flair and Dusty would have a match, the Horsemen would somehow get involved.
Yep.
Even though Flair originally wanted to be Dusty Rhodes Jr. when he started,
Yeah.
but Dusty said, "No, you got to go be yourself. You got to go find who you are."
Yep.
So in a way, Dusty created Ric Flair.
Yep. You sure do.
Like Dusty created Ric Flair. He helped Flair become the Nature Boy.
Yep. I remember. You remember that beatdown that the Four Horsemen did to Dusty in the parking
Yeah.
lot?
Hmm.
Man, that's probably was one of the highlights for Dusty's career, right there.
I think the feud with Flair was his highlight.
Yeah, I agree.
3 3 years those two fought, and every time Dusty would think he was going to win the belt, he didn't.
Yep,
And then they had the climactical match where Dusty finally won the belt.
yep,
But at that time, NWA was going down
yeah,
because Dusty and Flair were were the only big names they had.
yep,
Because at that point, Steamboat had left to go
yeah.
to WCW.
He sure did.
Everybody, everybody was jumping ship to WCW
Yeah,
because this was like WWE was kind of like starting to make their strides
uh,
in the 80s, but NWA was going down and WWE was rising up.
mm-hmm.
So if nobody was going to WCW, they were going to WWE.
Exactly. And we had to talk about a match back then, yo.
Which one?
Jerry Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich.
Oh, what a classic match that
It
was.
was. And Kerry was fucking bleeding like a man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Lawler even said that was the bloodiest match he ever been in.
I remember watching something about that on YouTube where Jerry Lawler was talking about his one of his favorite feuds was with Kerry Von Erich,
Yeah,
and he was saying that this guy was so good in the ring, and he was like the man was just flawless.
he was. Yeah,
And he said, when I first started working with him, he said I was nervous because he was like, this guy's so good, and he goes, me, I'm not. He goes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the greatest wrestler in the world.
yeah,
He goes, but Kerry could just carry me through that match. Like he was calling the match.
yeah,
He was saying what we're going to do next. He said, I was just following Kerry's lead, and Kerry's like, make me bleed. He said, what? He said, make me bleed, cut
yeah,
me open. And Lawler was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get the fans to show. I want make me bleed. And Lawler pulled it out, and he cut his forehead, and he pulled out the blade and bladed him.
yeah,
That brings me back to AEW. Now there are fans out there that are saying that they blade themselves too much in AEW.
uh-huh,
I don't agree with that. I think blood makes a match more interesting
uh-huh,
because when you see somebody bleeding, they've been through a fight. Like you got somebody in a cage match, somebody should be bleeding.
yeah,
You're using a cage, somebody should be bleeding.
yep,
Like and that's where I go back to where I think WWE would never work with AEW because of the blood.
yeah,
And yeah, AEW is a young company, but it's only going to get better.
yeah,
And I have friends who are like, yeah, I'm a WWE loyal. Like, I am not anymore. I'm not going to lie. I don't watch WWE. Why? Because I feel like their storylines are
Y-
boring.
you know, WWE got so bad that they only show 3 matches in 2 hours. But
Yeah.
I give Raw credit this time because they showed 5 matches this time.
Okay, but an AEW show we'll start off with the match. We'll start off with a 30-minute match.
Yeah, I know.
It's a 30-minute match.
Yeah,
And some people are like, oh well, you know what? I don't think they should do that. If you're gonna do that in the main event.
yeah,
Well, you can open up the show a great way. Why not start it off with a huge match?
right.
And they're like, but the main event's only like 15 minutes, 20 minutes long. I'm like, okay, but you had a banger of a first match.
Yep,
What are you bitching about? Like, that first match was fucking excellent. Why are you
yeah,
complaining? The main event was only 20 minutes. I'd rather start the show with a 30-minute match
right.
because, to me, if you begin the show strong, the rest of the show is going to follow
Ex-
greatly.
exactly. And that's how I feel. But if you it
Now, some people are saying that AEW should follow WWE and do a 3-hour show. I'm like, no, they're fine with the 2-hour show and a 1-hour show on Fridays. I like that format because yeah, you're getting Rampage, you're getting 1-hour show on a Friday night. Yes, I like that because you could pack 3 or 4 matches into that one night.
yeah. Well, WWE problem is they they don't rely on the wrestlers anymore. They don't rely on their creativity, but yet they rely on hundreds of other people making the storyline.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
that's the thing I read about Tony Khan. He was like, I don't need an entire creative team. He's like, yeah, I have 1 or 2 writers for the show. And he's like, that's all I have. And he goes, but the wrestlers were coming to me with ideas, what they want to do in their matches. He says, sometimes I do what they want, what they ask, what they want. He goes, a lot of times I do, sometimes I don't. If I think it's too risky, I don't usually do it.
yeah,
He's like, it's just depending on who the wrestler is that asks me. He's like a guy like Moxley. He goes, if Moxley has an idea, I trust him.
yeah,
He's like, I trust John Moxley, so I let him do. I trust Chris Jericho.
yeah.
And let's talk about how incredible Chris Jericho is, man.
Jericho, oh, he's
Yes,
amazing.
let's talk about this guy. How he has evolved his. He has gone from company to company.
Uh huh.
Starting off in WCW, goes to WWE, has a stellar career there, goes to AEW, and is just having the time of his life there.
Yeah,
Became the first ever AEW World Champion, which was a great idea.
yeah,
There are people who don't agree with me about this. They're like, no, I thought that was a dumb idea. I was like, why? Because there was not many known guys there.
right.
Like, Jericho was a known commodity. Nobody knew who Hangman Adam Page was. This was a way to introduce American fans to a guy like Hangman Adam Page. You didn't know who Hangman Adam Page was
No, I didn't.
till you saw him on AEW, right?
Yeah,
I know you knew who Kenny Omega was by reading about him, but you didn't know his wrestling. You didn't
no,
know what he did. until I told you who he was, like,
Yeah.
or what he did, and you was like, I'm gonna have to check him out.
Yep.
And I'm a big wrestling fan, so I follow New Japan. I follow other wrestling promotions. I know who a lot of these guys are. I knew who Shinsuke Nakamura was before he even signed with WWE
Yeah.
because I followed his career in Japan. I knew who Asuka was before she came to WWE
Yeah.
because I followed her career in Japan. And a lot of WWE fans, they're not hardcore wrestling fans. They're the casual fans. And they watch WWE because they're brainwashed.
Yeah.
Like Jericho's doing.
Yeah.
Who's there with you?
Nobody. That was me, the Oreo.
What, you were playing back?
Yeah.
Wait, you're doing a live stream, but you're doing a playback?
I was trying to fix a video.
Well, I think you should focus on one video at a time, brother.
But no, I agree with you. Like I think Jericho has a better run now in AEW than what he did in WWE.
What do you think about it? Jericho had one of the greatest factions in wrestling history with the what was his group called before the Jericho Appreciation Society? I forget what they were called.
What was they called?
I can't remember now.
I don't know. But
Oh,
Jericho has banned Fozzy. They run a golden record for 500,000 fans.
really?
Yep. They sure did.
And the whole reason why Jericho left, it wasn't because he didn't like.
You there, yo?
Yeah, I'm here. Trying to find something. The Inner Circle. That's what they were called.
Yeah. The Inner Circle. Yep.
Okay, the Inner Circle. Okay, yeah. Okay, I had to look that up because I was driving me crazy. I mean, the Inner Circle had a great run for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I can see where Jericho was like, I'm going to try something else. Like, the Inner Circle, we did everything we could possibly do.
Yep.
Now, I hear that Santana wants out of AEW.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. Like, he posted on his Instagram or Twitter or something saying that 126 days left.
Really?
But, yeah. So, I think Ortiz is going to stay, but Santana wants to leave, and it's a shame because I love Santana and Ortiz as a tag team.
Well, he got injured.
Yeah, I know,
Santana?
in the blood and guts match.
Yeah.
Like, I saw his knee pop. I saw the
Yeah.
way he landed on his knee, and I was like, ugh. Which, by the way, that was an excellent fucking match.
It was.
Even though Jim Cornette didn't agree.
Jim Cornette. He's an idiot. Jim Cornette.
Oh, no. He does not like John Moxley at all. I was reading something about him the other day. He was like bashing John Moxley's style. He's like, oh, he don't sell and he don't do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? Moxley sells great.
Yeah.
Moxley is a great seller. Like I'm like when he's supposed to be in pain, he looks like he's in pain.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I don't know where this idiot's getting that from,
Well,
but
I think. I mean, let's face it, bro. Cornette is so
stuck in the past.
yes. That's the word I was thinking of. That he doesn't really know what the hell is going on anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like me and Joey was doing a show the other day, which I didn't upload because the audio didn't go through for some reason. But we was talking about Jim Cornette, and Joey said he don't like Jim Cornette because he's too old school. He's not new school.
I agree with Jim Point. I agree with Joey. I do. I agree with Joey on that 100%. Jim Cornette is not. He's not up with the times. He doesn't understand the modern day wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Like I think it's because he's been out of the business for so long
Mm-hmm.
that his opinion matters. And yeah, it might matter to some old school, to some people in their 60s and their 70s who remember the old school,
Yeah.
but he doesn't understand about the mod because I remember he used to say the same thing about the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
He said that the Attitude Era would have never worked. Well, guess what? He was wrong about that.
He was wrong about that because it won't.
And obviously, AEW is doing something right. If they're selling out arenas,
And let's face it, Chris. WWE was getting the WWF at that time was getting their asses kicked
before the Attitude Era.
before the Attitude Era. So if the Attitude Era never happened, WCW might have run that whole thing.
I agree. Well, and even the Undertaker even said that. Even the Undertaker agreed to that. He said, if we didn't change our ways, we would have probably been working for WCW.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think if WCW would have never won, there would have never been an AEW.
That's true. That's true. But as you know,
And I think AEW is smart for not
uh,
going directly into competition with WWE.
are they like when we talking about AEW? While we talk about AEW, are they making the same mistakes as WCW? Because you remember back in the day, that's what WCW did. They hired the ex WWF wrestlers.
See, I don't think so. I really don't think they're making the same mistakes. I just think that they signed these guys because they have so many injuries right now that they needed people that are going to draw fans.
Yeah. Well, I get that, Chris, but WWE injuries is powering up too. If you haven't noticed, have you
What?
noticed?
I don't watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that both companies are hurting with injuries. That's
And
why. That's
at
why.
least, at least AEW still has Moxley and they still have Jericho.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Kingston is a big fan favorite there.
Yeah. Like
Like
WWE. When you think about it, WWE really don't have a mega star like Randy Orton because Orton's out.
well, they had one in Drew McIntyre until they took the belt away from him
That's true.
because McIntyre was a big star.
Oh yeah.
Like Drew was a huge star when he won the belt.
Yes, he was.
And he carried that company during the pandemic, like Moxley did.
Yeah,
Moxley did the same thing in AEW, carried that company through the pandemic with the title.
yeah,
But the smart thing they did with Moxley was they never took him actually fully away from the title picture, but they didn't have him in it either.
yeah,
They had him scratch and claw his way back up to the title picture. So they were smart about that because they know how much of a draw John Moxley is.
yeah,
They know how big of a draw he is. So they was like, okay, we're going to keep him out of the title picture, but not completely away from it.
yep,
And then they're going to pull him back into the title picture slowly.
yeah.
Yes, it took him 2 years to get back into the title picture.
What? Well, you know what happened with Drew, though. You know, when Drew won the belt, he was a heel, and then he turned babyface. And then when Drew turned babyface, that's when the fans was like, "Well, you know what? Drew
Well,
ain't really all that good."
he slowly turned into a baby face.
That's what
He
hurt him,
what?
turning into a babyface.
No, I think he was a great baby face.
Drew
I don't.
McIntyre.
I disagree with you on that. I don't think Drew was getting the heat that he needed to be a heel.
Uh-huh.
He was a he. The fans weren't really booing him.
So you saying WWE dropped the ball on Drew?
They did. If they would have kept him as a heel, I feel like Drew's stock would have never risen.
Yeah.
But when he was champion and he was a babyface, the fans absolutely loved him. When he finally turned babyface and then he beat Brock Lesnar for the belt, the fans loved Drew after that.
Yeah. I agree, but I don't know. I just somewhere, and I do agree. I do blame it on WWE, but somewhere along the way, Drew just got forgotten.
Well, yeah, because Lashley was on his mega hot streak. Bobby Lashley gets on his mega hot streak as a heel, beating everybody in his path. And then they were like, okay, we have something here.
It,
Lashley's getting heat from the crowd.
it,
Okay,
and
let's
I think that was the best version of Bobby Lashley. But go on.
yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like Lashley was on his mega run. He was just destroying everybody in his path to get to the title. He beats Drew for the belt, and then the fans just hated him,
Yeah.
which was a good thing for Lashley.
Yeah.
Because Lashley is a better heel than he is a babyface.
Oh hell yeah! And you can't. You got to give some credit to MVP too, because Lashley can't talk with the shit on the mic. The one that was talking for Lashley was MVP.
We used to say the same thing about Brock, but now Brock has a personality.
Well, yeah, because that's his real personality. You know as well as I do, Brock is a country boy.
And Brock is hilarious.
He is.
Like, I watched the Pat McAfee. Did you see the Pat McAfee show with Lesnar on it?
No, I didn't see it.
It was so funny because Pat McAfee was like, "We got fucking Brock Lesnar here." He's like, if we were having an alien invasion, he goes, "There's one man I send out. He's never Brock Lesnar." And Brock was just like, "I appreciate that," but he's like, "I'm not the strongest guy in the world, guys." And then he just breaks the table and he goes, "You broke my table." He said, yeah, let me fix that real quick. He says, all right, it's fixed. It just set the table on top. It was great.
That's
Brock,
funny.
I like Cowboy Brock.
I do too.
I love the fact that he's at that point now in his career. He doesn't have to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can just be himself.
Yeah.
And I think every wrestler gets to that point where they've done everything and they're like, you know what? I just want to be me.
Exactly. You know what?
And
I
you can tell
it,
Brock's having a blast with it.
it's this goes back to WWE. The storylines they make up. It shouldn't have to be like that, Chris. It should always have to be you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It shouldn't have to be a made up story where you gotta follow that storyline. If you don't follow that storyline, then you ain't gonna make it or you gonna get fired. Or if that storyline sucks, you ain't gonna make it or you get fired. It's a lose-lose situation.
All right, now let's talk about this. How long do you see Liv Morgan being champion?
Oh man, why you gotta ask me that? You know I'm a big Liv Morgan fan.
I want your unbiased opinion.
You know the truth is gonna hurt me, right?
Yeah, because I can already tell you it ain't gonna be long. She's losing that belt at SummerSlam.
She's no, she's
Liv is one of those people that she got the crowd behind her really fast, and WWE had to catapult, had to capitalize on that.
man. I tell you, I'm gonna be truthful, Chris. I don't see Liv having that bout for SummerSlam. Even if she does have it for SummerSlam, she's gonna lose it at SummerSlam. And you
She's gonna
know I
lose it.
love Liv Morgan.
Ronda's gonna get that belt back. I'm sorry, I should say title because WWE doesn't like to use the term belt.
Hey, I've been using championship on my stream video, so
I don't know. I guess because I watch so much AEW now, like I'm used to saying belt or strap, or
yeah,
because WWE doesn't ban the word title or belt.
right.
Like, oh, you can't say belt.
Could say
Um,
both.
you can't say belt. It's that stupid.
Right,
You said in the '90s all the time, "I'm gonna win that belt,
right.
or I'm gonna win that strap. I'm gonna get that WWE. I'm gonna get that that WWE belt back." This
It's
is dumb.
it is.
So how about this? Vince McMahon is now the story's coming out that he has paid over $12 million in hush money.
Yeah, to four different people.
So you're telling me four people you paid $12 million off, which doesn't really add up because if you paid $4 million to each person, that's like $16 million.
Well, well, I don't think he spent 3 million on the one girl. So what's 3 times 4, yo?
12.
12 million. Well,
So he paid,
you know, that's not all Vince is in trouble with. Vince might be done for forever
why?
because here's why. He sold his stock for $21 million, and that's a lot for stock, Chris. And they looking into it because that sounds like an inside sale. And you're not allowed to sell your stock inside the company. You gotta sell it outside the company.
Yeah.
So they got evidence that Vince sold stock inside the company.
And something tells me the reason why he did that was so he could pay that hush money off.
Exactly.
Because I mean, yes, Vince had the money. I know he had the money to pay them off.
Yeah,
You know what's funny? WWE stock is going down, but AEW stock just rose 10%.
I know. I know. Because all the shit's happening.
Tony Khan is went from being worth $3 billion to $3.5 billion.
Yeah.
His company is worth over $4 billion,
You,
and it was $3.2 billion before all this happened.
yeah. You know, I didn't notice this until Smitty pointed it out when I was talking to him on the phone. Vince isn't a billionaire anymore.
No, no, he's not. But guess who still is?
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan is smart. He's smarter than what people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Because Tony Khan works hard. Like
Yeah.
people think that like Tony Khan doesn't work that hard, but this man is writing stories. He's at the shows. He's putting the shows together.
Yeah.
You know, like another thing Cornette said that really pissed me off is about ratings. Nobody cares about ratings anymore because people are
No.
watching this shit on other platforms.
Yep.
They're finding free ways to watch the shows.
Exactly. And trust me, there's multiple free ways to watch the shows.
Exactly. So ratings, that was the thing of the 90s. That's the thing of the past.
Yeah.
So like,
Everybody is moving to stream. You notice that?
yes. Soon
It,
enough, cable networks are going to be out,
and
and it's going to be streaming services.
I guarantee you, when Tony Khan figures out what he wants to do with streaming, it's gonna happen.
Well, I know like now Warner Media is paying Tony Khan $45 million, or Tony Khan is paying them $45 million, or they're paying. No, I'm sorry. They're paying Tony Khan $45 million with their contract a year.
Uh huh.
Now their deal ends in 2024, but I'm thinking that they're going to keep that. They're going to keep that deal going in 2024.
Yeah. Yo, man.
And I think
Uh huh.
by then they're going to have a streaming service to where people can watch Dynamite and Rampage and be able to watch the pay-per-views on that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yo,
I
man.
mean, AEW is already making a video game.
Right? Which I've heard that it's gonna be a decent one.
Well, I mean, he's paying top dollar for this game to be
Yeah.
made. So, like, I mean, and he has the money to do it. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna
a
use the
lot of,
bathroom real quick, buddy.
huh?
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
You're gonna edit that one out, right?
Nope, we live.
Oh God.
Entertain them, yo.
Alright, guys. So, while my partner is gone here, I really can't see you guys. I don't know what your comments are saying, but here is a question for y'all: WWE or AEW? Who is your choice? Is the better company? Y'all know my opinion. AEW all the way. I feel like AEW puts on a better show. It has a better product. Yes, is it chaotic at times? It is, but it's still amazing shit. Yeah, they had their up and down weeks, guys, but you gotta roll with the punches. You gotta take good with bad. You know what I mean? So, what do y'all think? Who is a better company? Is WWE going to be the fallen kingdom? Are they going to be the next Rome that was the juggernaut of the world for many years, and now could they be the fallen? Let me know what y'all think about that. This is harder than I thought it was, guys, because I'm used to feeding off of somebody. And anyways, I was saying, I just feel like AEW puts on a better show than WWE. And Will needs to hurry his ass up and get back here to do the stream. Because what the hell is he doing? Taking a shit?
I'm back, yo.
Okay. So I just asked your streamers a question.
Uh-huh.
Who puts on a better product, WWE or AEW? And could WWE be the next Fallen Kingdom?
Nobody replied yet, yo.
God damn it. Is there anybody even watching this stream?
Yep.
How many people you got watching?
One.
You got one person watching the stream?
Yep. 2 people already participated for the $15 gift card.
2 people?
Yep.
You get any new followers?
1.
What do you go up to 16 followers?
18.
18. Oh shit, well you're moving on up. Got one
Doing
more
good.
follower. Yeah.
Yep. Well, you
So
know.
what
Huh?
do you think? What do you think?
About the questions?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go over them again, yo.
Okay. Could WWE be a victim to a fallen kingdom?
Well, I tell you this. If WWE don't get their stuff together soon, then yeah, they ain't gonna last.
I think just because they have a loyal fan base, they won't go away.
Well,
I don't
no,
think.
I mean, I think they're gonna go. If worst comes to worst for WWE, they gonna be like another NWA. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Hey, wait, elaborate.
Like how you know how big NWA used to be back then,
Yeah,
and you see
but you
how
think
they
about it.
are now.
But you
I
think
can
about it. NWA was never like a huge promotion, and
no,
they only had a good 12 years.
no, but I can see slowly, and it's happening now, Chris, because they only had 3 matches. Only had 3 matches. I can see it happening that they gonna be, well, they're not doing as good, so they can't do TV shows as often.
Well, and also they keep thinning out their rosters too.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
keep
did you watch my news video, my recent one?
no.
NXT. They give NXT wrestlers 6 months to improve. If they don't improve, they're cut.
They're giving them 6 months to improve.
Yeah, and 6 months ain't enough.
See, I loved NXT when Regal was in charge and Triple H was in charge.
Yeah.
But ever since Triple H stopped doing NXT and Regal left, it's gone downhill.
It did.
When they lost Adam Cole and they lost Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fischer, I was like, "Oh, that's dumb."
Yeah.
Because They just lost their biggest stars.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Regal leaves, and that also takes the following away.
Yeah.
Like, because Regal knew what he was doing in the wrestling business, which means, hey, I don't blame William Regal for going to AEW. Because
Mm-hmm.
as much knowledge as that man has, WWE was a fool to get rid of him, along with Arn Anderson
Yeah.
and Drew Malenko.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, Malenko was not good on the mic. He was terrible on the mic. But the man's knowledge for the business
Yeah.
could have helped a lot of these young guys.
I agree.
He could have helped them with their wrestling, with their psychology. That was dumb. AEW got a good deal with him. They got a good deal with Arn.
Yep.
Because Arn Anderson is down there at their training facility along with Dustin Rhodes, training people.
Yep.
And Dustin, he's also got a great mind for the
It,
business.
it, and it's gotten WWE gotten so bad, Chris, that backyard wrestling had better matches than WWE. Because I watched Backyard Wrestling 4 today. The game changing wrestling of Backyard
Okay,
Wrestling. And I gave that a 9 out of 10. And I,
GCW.
yep. While I gave Monday Night Raw a 6 out of 10.
Okay, but what did you give Rampage?
I haven't made it that far yet.
Man, what the hell, man? You should be doing this. You should be watching this stuff before you do these shows.
I know, yo. I'm not in tune yet.
You gotta stop slacking off, man.
I know, yo. People depend on me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you depend on me with AEW.
This is true. This is true.
So Wardlow says that eventually he would be willing to go to WWE. You think that was a good, smart move or a bad move
That'd be a bad move.
for Wardlow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they would just build it. They'd just make him a monster and then be forgotten.
Yep. Just like they did with Braun Strowman. And I can see the same thing happen to Omos because Omos, he ain't really that good, man.
I give Wardlow credit because Wardlow is very strong and he's very athletic.
Yeah.
He's an athletic big guy.
Yeah.
And I think that like he would be dumb if he went to WWE.
Yeah. I agree.
Hear that that MJF may be back in a couple months.
Yeah. I heard that too.
I think that he learned. I think that he's learning that I should keep my mouth shut
Uh-huh.
if he may be successful in his business because they're keeping him off the TV.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have him return in Long Island in a few months because that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Because JF always gets a big pop in Long Island. They love him there.
They sure do.
They love him in Long Island. Like he'll trash every city he's been and he'll go to, but he will say nothing but good things about Long Island when he's there, which is smart
Uh-huh.
because that's where he's from. He's still the heel. Everybody else hates him, but Long Island, he's a god. And honestly, I think that's a smart move. Bring him back in his hometown.
I agree.
Bring him back in his hometown because the crowd there will erupt when they hear his music.
Yep.
I'm hoping that he learned his lesson, and I really do hope that MJF does improve with his attitude.
Yep.
when he comes back, because I mean, the guy would be a wasted talent in WWE. You and I both know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. WWE
He'll
ain't
be,
gonna use MJF. They gonna use him like the Miz.
yeah.
Uh, oh
MJF to me, he's just not ready to be champion.
no, hold
He
on,
needs to
man.
prove himself.
All right, go ahead.
He needs to prove himself.
Yeah,
And at best, MJF is maybe a 2-star wrestler.
yeah.
On the mic, he's 5 stars.
5 stars.
In the ring, he's a 2-star.
Yep. Wait, what about the Miz though?
The Miz, mic skills, I give him 4.5 stars.
Uh huh.
Miz's wrestling skills, I give him 3.5 stars.
Uh huh. So
And
you think the Miz is better in the ring than MJF?
I do. Because The Miz actually has ring psychology.
Mm-hmm.
But The Miz has also been doing it a lot longer than MJF, too.
That's true.
The Miz, my only problem with The Miz, he's been the same gimmick for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
The A-lister.
Yep.
Okay, that's old. That's old.
Yep.
Like, you gotta evolve, dude. Like, you're never gonna be WWE champion when you're just the A-lister.
Exactly.
And The Miz though, he has his own TV show too, so he has a following.
Yeah.
So that's what really keeps him relevant because he has the Miz and Mrs. TV show,
Yeah.
and that's what makes the Miz relevant because he has that.
I agree.
Now, if the Miz didn't have that TV show, I think the Miz wouldn't be what would be nothing more than. I mean, I always said Miz is a mid Carter at best.
Yeah.
He's never going to be a main event level star.
Uh huh.
And I mean, I don't care if he's in AEW or WWE. I think anywhere Miz would go, he would be a mid card guy.
You know, and you know me. I love the Miz, but I agree with you. I don't see him being anything other than mid card.
Miz is he reminds me a little bit of, I wouldn't say Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but he's more like a Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Rick Rude was never going to be a world champion.
But Rude made it big in WCW though.
But he never made it to the title.
In WCW.
Oh yeah, he did win a world title, didn't he?
Yep.
That's right. My bad. I take that back. Okay, yeah, he won the world title once. But how memorable was that title reign?
Not very memorable.
It wasn't even that long. I think he held it for what, like a month and a half or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Then he lost it. I believe he lost it to Sting.
Yep.
Yeah, he lost to Sting.
Speaking about WCW, and I know this pay-per-view is your favorite pay-per-view of all time, so I'm gonna
Halloween,
ask you, what was
Halloween,
your favorite Halloween Havoc?
the one where Great Muda put the fire out.
Yeah.
But that was also a great show too because you had Savage versus Sid Vicious. You had Muda. I forget who Muda was fighting. Who was Muda fighting that night? Was it Benoit?
It was either Benoit or Sting.
I think it was Sting. No, it was Sting. It was Sting and Benoit, or Sting and Muda, which was a great match. and you had Sid Vicious versus I forget who. I just said the name too. But anyways, it was a great show. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't remember. But Halloween Havoc was my favorite because Halloween is my favorite holiday. So that Halloween Havoc makes sense.
Yeah,
I just wish instead of NXT having Halloween Havoc, I wish WWE the main show would have that pay per view.
I know. I wish they would have.
But no, they want to put it on NXT, and I'm like, really? Like NXT doesn't have that big of a following like your main roster does.
No.
Your main roster is where the money's at. Like that's where the money would be,
Yeah.
not NXT. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, I looked up the prices for an NXT show, and they're cheap.
Are they?
It's like $30 for like a seat in an NXT show.
Oh yeah, that's cheap.
Whereas for a main roster show, like SummerSlam, the cheapest tickets are like $150.
Mm-hmm.
Like now if you want to sit front row at a WWE main show like SummerSlam, you're paying like $3,000 for like front row seats.
Yeah.
So like you compare now mind you, $30 $30 to $60 is the most expensive. $60 is the most expensive seats at an NXT show.
Uh.
Now you pay $60 for a front row seat at an NXT show. Granted, the arena is smaller, but and now you compare now. AEW started off in Daly's place, which
Yeah.
was a place that fit about 1,000 people. Now they're doing arenas that have 16 to 20,000 people.
Yeah.
What I think the Chicago Center, they had like 35,000 people there for Forbidden Door,
Yeah. Something like that, man.
and that place was packed.
It was.
Now, mind you, you watched the last pay per view. How empty did that arena look
It didn't
from
look
when it?
empty.
Huh?
Didn't look empty.
I saw some empty rows.
Uh.
See what WWE does. What they do is they cover that up because you notice the angles they show. They don't show the empty seats. They only show where the people are.
Yeah.
Now, we did accidentally zoom in on a few rows that were like almost empty, and that was troubling to see
Yeah.
because I've heard that WWE's ticket sales have not been that good,
No, they can't even sell tickets for SummerSlam.
and that's their biggest show of the summer.
Yep.
Whereas for AEW, are selling out in a matter of minutes at times.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door sold out in literally 2 hours.
It sure
Double or
did.
Nothing, Double or Nothing sold out in a matter of minutes.
Yep.
WWE is losing money not only because of the scandal, but fans are losing interest.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know, man.
If you were
You know, and it even got worse for them because what's going on with Vince. And then
right,
now Stephanie took over, and she can't really do anything because all Vince is yes men, and Vince is still calling shots.
yeah, he's calling them and telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Now, this is where the board of directors needs to step in and say, hey, Vince, you cannot call in. You have no right to call this place. You can't call your people. If I were the board of directors, I would take control of the reins and I would get rid of all of Vince's yes men.
Yeah.
If I was Stephanie, I would put my foot down and say, you know what, Dad? You're no longer in charge. I'm in control now.
Yep. Yep.
And she needs to fire everybody that would listen to him and
Because
say, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Anyone who would follow Vince, and she needs to bring her own people in.
yeah, because yeah, Stephanie may not be the best person to run WWE, but if she has a good team behind her, she can be really good.
Yeah, I agree. This is where I would say, I mean, Shane has already said that he doesn't want any kind of control in the company because Shane wasn't when he was brought back. He wasn't even brought back as he was brought back on a wrestler's contract.
Yeah.
He wasn't even brought back for any kind of control. He was brought back on a wrestler's contract.
Yep.
And so, and Shane didn't really want because that's why Shane left in the first place because he didn't get along with his dad.
Nope.
He did not get along with Vince, because every time he would have ideas, Vince would say no, no, no.
Yep.
And Shane even said that in an interview. Like he said, the reason why I was away for so long was because my dad and I didn't get along. It was my mom who told me I should come back.
Exactly.
He said his mother called him and said, hey, I think you should come back. You need to make amends with your dad.
Yep.
And Shane said, the only way I'll do that is if dad lets me do what I want to do.
Yep.
And Linda said, I'll make sure you get to do what you want. Because Linda and Shane were always close. Stephanie and Vince were close.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie didn't really have a good relationship with her mother. She was always closer to her dad.
Yeah.
Shane was the other way around. It was his mom. And Vince didn't like that. Because Linda always had more control than Vince did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she was the one that, yeah, Vince ran the show behind the scenes, but Linda was actually the one that had the control over WWE.
Linda just would rather focus on the business side of things.
Yeah.
Linda was more of a businesswoman.
Yep.
Than Vince was. She was the one who was at the board meetings.
Yep.
She was the one handling all the financial stuff, all the stuff that took place. She was the one who would be like, okay, tell us where we're okay, find scout arenas.
Yep.
Find an arena for SummerSlam. Find an arena for WrestleMania. She was the one making those deals.
Yep.
Not Vince. Vince never had anything to do with any of that stuff.
He didn't.
But he took the credit for it. And that used to piss Linda off because she was the one busting her ass off making these deals.
Exactly.
And Vince would always, and everybody would give Vince this credit. Like, oh yeah, Vince McMahon, he's a genius. No, he's not.
He ain't. Well,
His wife,
Vince and Linda, they're not living together anymore.
yeah, I heard she wants a divorce.
Yep.
I mean, but Vince has been cheating on Linda for years.
That's true. That's true.
Vince has probably tried every hot female that has tried to come into the door.
Right. I agree with that.
I heard Mickey James was one of the girls that Vince was trying to have sex with.
I believe it.
Because she actually came out and did an interview with somebody saying that when she first came there, Vince found out about her sex tape that she did, and he literally blackmailed her.
Uh huh.
And she told him, "I'm not going to have sex with you." And he said, "Well, I'm going to let it. I'm going to put it all out there." And she said, "Go ahead. I don't have nothing to hide."
Right.
She's like, "Yeah, I did it when I was young. I was stupid. I was offered money to do a porno. Okay, I'm going to do it."
Right.
What 22-year-old would turn down $10,000 to do a sex tape?
Would you do a sex tape for money, yo?
I mean, if I was a young 22-year-old trying to get in the wrestling business, yeah,
Yeah.
because wrestling school is not cheap.
Nope. Sure ain't.
Like, so I'm sure like that's probably what she used that money for.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. If you was a young wrestler, you're 22, you're 19, 20 years old, getting into the business, and you're a good-looking dude, and some guy comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, I'll give you 10 G's if you do a porno," and say that's exactly how much you needed to get into wrestling school.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
Hell yeah.
Right. So Mickey told him, she goes, "You can put it out there." She goes, "I have nothing to be ashamed of. I was young. I needed to get into wrestling school. I needed that much money to get in." So I said yes.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her for sticking to her guns and telling him no.
Right.
I mean, she never came forward with it, but she said it in an interview, which I'm sure the court now, I'm sure they're going to put that in their evidence that
Yeah.
Vince tried to blackmail her. I don't know if she's going to testify against him. If I was her, I would.
I would too, man.
And I think honestly, that's why Mickey James never won a belt after she lost to after she beat Trish Stratus for the belt.
Right.
Because I think Vince was still kind of mad that she never would give him, she never gave him the pussy.
Yep. I agree. I
Because
agree, yo.
the feud with Trish Stratus and Mickey James, that's what made Mickey James who she was.
Yeah.
Like that catapulted her up to stardom.
Yep.
Then they went into the Divas era. And that was a dark day. Those were dark days for the women's division.
It was. It sure was because, I'll be honest with you though. The dark days didn't happen until Alondra Blaze threw that WWF women's belt in the trash in WCW.
But then Trish and Lita kind of brought the women's division to prominence.
Yep. Yep. Because
They single-handedly brought that division back up
they sure did.
with the
Because
two of
before
them.
that, it was
And
just
then,
all bikinis and pillow fights.
I mean, and they were still doing that with Trish and Lita were there,
Yeah.
but they elevated the women's division because they had girls like Victoria, they had Jacqueline, they had Jazz,
Yeah.
they had Ivory, they had Molly Holly.
Yeah.
They had women who could actually wrestle.
Yeah. I agree. And you know what? Today, and I still say it, to this day, I think women's wrestling is better than the men's.
Oh yes, yes, I agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Because,
you know? Did you know that Serena Deeb was in a straight edge society?
yeah, she's the woman that got her head shaved.
Yeah,
Yep.
I actually forgot she was in the Straight Edge Society
Yeah.
because the Straight Edge Society didn't last very long.
That's another talent WWE didn't do a damn thing with.
Oh, I love Serena Deeb.
I do
Her
too.
technical, her technical skills are bar none.
Yeah.
But look who she was trained by, though.
Who's she
Look
trained
at
by?
who- Dean Malenko, bro.
Ah,
She was trained by Dean Malenko.
damn.
That's why she's called the Woman of 1,000 Holes.
Yeah.
Yes. Or the Professor of Professional Wrestling.
Right. So the $15 giveaway is still going on, guys. We
Yeah, you better get on that, guys.
like
Better get on that shit right now.
$15 is $15, yo.
It ain't a lot of money, but hey, you know what? I'd take it if I was y'all.
Right. We got 2 participants. So the day's still early. The rules is in the description. Check them
What are the
out.
rules? What
Huh?
are the rules, man? You gotta tell the people the rules, man.
Y'all just gotta like me on Facebook or Twitter or both. Then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the live stream. Then say in the live stream, done. That way I know that you guys did all the steps because I can't see who subscribed and who liked my channels. So when you say done in the chat, that way I know you guys have done the steps. And I'll put you down in the poll. Also, please, please make sure where you live that giveaways are legal. We don't need no illegalness going on, right, Chris?
Said illegalness. He said illegalness. I love it. We don't need no. Let me correct him. We don't need no illegal activity going on, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
So make sure that it is legal wherever you live, because if it is not legal, then you cannot participate.
What he said.
Sorry, guys. I had to correct William here because he's not the best talker sometimes, guys.
Nope.
Illegalness. Well, really.
Yep.
All right, so we're going on topic here. Okay, we were talking about Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb is an excellent wrestler.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I would take her over half the guys in the wrestling business.
Yes.
My only problem with AEW is they need more women in their division.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, no, I agree with you because if you compare AEW women's division to WWE, I say WWE has a little bit better women's division than AEW.
But I still feel like the women in the AEW's division could mop before with WWE's.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Chris Statlander, I love Chris Statlander.
Yeah. Like,
I think,
I'd be honest with you, like, the only woman in WWE that they like that's over Bianca. They just destroying Becky Lynch. Like Becky, I don't know what they doing with Becky, but they doing Becky wrong right now. Charlotte Flair ain't around yet because she just got married. Liv Morgan. Well, we see how she does with the belt.
I know you love Liv, dude.
I do.
But
Alexa
You
Bliss
you
could
know as well as I do, Liv Morgan is not champion material.
no,
Not yet.
not yet.
Maybe down the road. Liv is
It-
still young. I think she's only 23 years old.
yeah,
So,
and you know the one woman other than Bianca that can carry that can carry SmackDown. I think she's on SmackDown. Isn't Alexa on SmackDown?
who?
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, but they don't put the belt on Alexa though.
But no, but that's the one woman that can carry SmackDown because she got the star power. But they don't use Alexa.
No. And that's stupid because Alexa Bliss, when she first came in, she was hot. Like everybody was like when she was doing her little twisted bliss gimmick,
Yeah,
everybody was feeding into that because they hated her.
yeah,
And she was getting reactions. Now it's like after she did the whole thing with Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, you know, that was cool when the Fiend was still there. But when he left, it just didn't make sense for her to keep that gimmick going.
yeah.
And you know, I feel like Alexa Bliss is gonna fall in the lines of like she's gonna be forgotten eventually.
Exactly.
And it's a shame too because I love Alexa Bliss and you know this.
Oh, I
And
love it, the Alexa.
because it's just Alexa knows how to get the crowd to feed into her fingers.
Yeah,
To, like she knows how to get heat. She knows how to draw heat from the crowd.
yep,
And but she can also be a good baby face too.
yeah.
If they use her right. Now, I don't know what they're doing with her. I don't know what her storyline is right now. What is Alexa's storyline? Well,
Same shit, bro. Same shit.
is she still dancing with stupid ass doll around with her?
Yep. Lily. Yep.
Now, it made more sense when Lily actually had a personality. Because I know there was a rumor that somebody was going to portray Lily.
Yeah.
And I think it was supposed to be Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan was supposed to be the light version of Lily,
Yeah.
but they didn't go through with that.
Yep.
Now, I feel like Liv Morgan could have portrayed Lily.
Yeah. She could. And you know, getting off topic here a minute. Do you remember? And this should not surprise us what Vince did because of this. Do you remember the angle that Vince pitched? And they didn't go with it. That Vince got Stephanie pregnant.
I
And
remember I remember a similar angle that he wanted to go through where he wanted Shane to be obsessed with Stephanie.
yeah,
Shane
that
was madly in love with her,
that too.
and and then Shane was supposed to get her pregnant.
Yeah,
Like she was supposed to be cheating on Triple H with her own brother.
yeah. And
But
then
Shane and Stephanie both looked at him and said, "Hell no, we're not doing that."
Vince was like, "Well, you know, it could be me have Stephanie's child," and Stephanie's like, "No, we ain't doing that. That's weird."
Well, the reason why Shane and Stephanie didn't want to do it because Vince actually wanted them to kiss on camera.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
wanted them to actually make out on
And
camera.
then when you think about it, you know, the punishment of not doing it was when it was the father and daughter match. You remember that match?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's, it's crazy.
I remember another punishment that he had Stephanie do was where it was Stephanie versus three guys,
Yeah,
and Stephanie got her ass kicked.
yep. Okay,
I
what
think
did you
he got
think?
that. I think that was when Shane was out the door, was on his way out the door.
Yeah, Shane was gone by then, bro.
because after Vince told him that, he was like, "I'm done. I'm
Yep.
done. I am not kissing my sister. I am not making out with my sister on live TV.
I wouldn't need him. Fuck that. Like,
No,
no.
like that. Like he wanted them to use tongue and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. What did you think? What did you think about 3 Minute Warning?
3 minute warning. I hated it.
Did you? Why?
I just didn't like it.
Uh huh.
I can't remember who was all in the group.
It was Rosie. That's all I remember was Rosie.
Rosie and the other big dude.
Yep.
I believe Rosie. Didn't Rosie become a MAGA?
Yep. Uh,
Rosie became a MAGA.
yeah. Right. No. No, did Rosie pass away and the other guy became a MAGA?
Okay, yeah, it was the other guy who became a MAGA. Rosie died. Yeah, that's right. Rosie
Yep.
died like 2 years later of a heart attack.
Yep.
Which was a shame because actually I like 3 minute warning. I'm not gonna lie. I like those guys.
Yeah.
You know who did not stand though?
Who?
Not like the Nasty Boys.
You didn't like the Nasty Boy? Dude, I can't
Did
have
not
you on this show anymore.
what? I did not like the Nasty Boys. I thought their gimmick was stupid in WWE.
I love
I
the
mean,
Nasty Boys.
I was never a fan of those guys.
No? I tell you what, that match, I think it was SummerSlam, when they wrestled Legion of Doom for the belts. That match was brutal.
Oh, LOD beat the shit out of them.
They did.
You know why that happened though?
Why?
Because the Nasty Boys backstage was telling the LOD that they were nothing but two punks.
Yeah.
And Vince told them, he said, beat their asses.
Yep.
Vince didn't like them because they had a bad attitude.
Yep.
And then you remember what Farouk and Bradshaw did to them?
Oh yeah, the Public Enemy.
Oh yeah, that was Public Enemy, not Nasty Boys.
Man, they fucked Public Enemy up.
Maybe it was a Public. No, it was Public Enemy I didn't like.
Oh.
I didn't care for the Nasty Boys either because I heard they had bad attitudes and I heard they were not very nice to their fans either.
Yeah, they wasn't the best people around. But you remember the I think it was One Night Stand when they was having a battle. Was it No, I don't think it was a battle royal. But
It was like a 4-way tag team match.
Yeah,
for these tag team titles.
When Bradshaw beat the shit out of Blue Meanie.
Oh yeah.
Was that was just a brawl, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a brawl.
Yeah. Man, he fucked him up. And then the next night on Monday Night Raw, Steven Richards laid Bradshaw out with that chair shot.
Oh, he did.
Man.
Like you remember what Farouk and Bradshaw did to fucking you just said their names too. Public Enemy.
Yeah. Yeah. Good God. That was.
They thought they was going to come in there. They thought they were legitimate badasses.
You know, when me and you was younger, I remember we came to school and I'm like, dude, they killed Public Enemy. And you was like, no, that was fake, bro. I was like, no, watch it again, man.
I was like, dude, it's wrestling. It's fake, dude.
Yeah.
But they put an ass whooping on them boys, and they never came back either.
They never came back after that. They went back to ECW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they went back to WCW.
WCW, yep. Yeah, because they started in ECW, then, yep, you're right.
They went to ECW. They was in ECW first. Then they went to WCW for a little while.
Yeah.
Then they went to WWE.
Yep.
Or WWF. and they thought they were legit. They were some badasses, and they called out
Yep.
Brad. There's like, we heard you guys are the toughest sons of bitches here.
Yep.
There's like, we want to wrestle you. We want to see how tough you are. Now, I don't even think they got any offense on in that match.
No, but they didn't. They just got their asses whooped. But there's one guy we need to talk about, Chris.
Who?
Since we talk about ECW era, Shane Douglas. What did you
I
think
don't
went
know.
wrong with Shane?
How did I know you was going to bring up Shane Douglas?
I don't know. Why do you think Shane never made it?
I think it's because Shane had a bad attitude.
Uh-huh.
Shane was one of those guys where in ECW he he could make his own shot. He could call his own shots.
Yeah.
You know, like he had it made. He was the king of ECW.
He was. He was like the there was only one person that might have been as high as Shane's wrestling star in ECW, and that was Sandman.
Yeah,
But go
but
on.
Taz was underrated.
He was.
Taz was highly, and Taz was a damn good champion
Yeah.
in ECW.
You know,
A damn good ECW champion.
he was. You know, the reason why, and I agree with you, the reason why Shane didn't make it in WWE or WCW is because he could not call his shots like he did in ECW. And he,
Because you think about it, ECW had a limited amount of people who could actually wrestle.
yeah,
Because you think about it, Sandman could not wrestle worth a damn.
no, no, he couldn't. No,
Sabu actually could wrestle.
yeah,
Sabu could actually put on a hell of a show, hell of a match.
I love Sabu.
Me too. But Sabu was also insane.
He was.
Because Sabu, every time Sabu was around, you knew something. You knew he was jumping through a table.
Yeah, yep. I remember when Mike Awesome threw uh, Spike Dudley from the inside of the ring to into the crowd.
And let's face it, Tommy Dreamer was nothing more than ECW's punching bag.
Yeah, but they loved the Tommy.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like everybody loved Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah,
Everybody loved Tommy Dreamer. I love Tommy Dreamer.
yeah.
But Tommy Dreamer wasn't really that good of a wrestler.
No, he wasn't.
Don't get me wrong, I love Tommy Dreamer. I did. I loved his passion.
Yeah.
But
You know what's crazy?
what?
I don't know if you know this or not, but Tommy Dreamer came into professional wrestling with a amateur wrestling background.
And they never let him utilize it?
Never let him utilize it. Never.
See, now I know they called Dreamer the king of hardcore in ECW. And Dreamer was a crazy motherfucker in ECW.
Yeah.
He was a crazy motherfucker in ECW. But I knew Dreamer would never be a world champion anywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went, he was going to be he's going to be everybody's little punching bag.
Yep. You know, the only reason why WWE, when WWE did the ECW show, the only reason why Dreamer won that bout was because they knew ECW was on its last leg. Or WWE ECW.
They wanted one last. They basically did it to get a cheap pop.
Yep.
They knew the crowd was going to love it for Dreamer to win that belt.
Yep.
Just like RVD. One night stand when RVD beat John Cena for the belt.
Yeah. I wish that would have lasted longer, though.
I
And
think it was because RVD didn't want to give up weed.
yeah,
And Vince had a problem with people smoking weed.
yeah, but he smokes weed too. So
Yeah, because I've heard stories about him smoking weed with Undertaker, and well, that was in the '90s, so
that was in the '90s. So yeah,
like like in the '80s and '90s, wrestlers got off on drinking and doing drugs and shit like
yeah,
that.
and that's what Miro was saying. Do you remember Stone Cold podcast Broken
Yeah,
Skull when Undertaker was like, nowadays wrestlers are soft because they play video games?
yeah,
But Miro said that I'm sorry that we don't do drugs or drink alcohol or fight in the backstage, and that we decide to play video games for our free time.
and I mean, I'm sure there are guys who, after a show, they go to a bar and have a drink after work.
Yeah,
Because that's what John Moxley was saying, like on Renee's podcast. He goes, yeah, I'm so used to having a beer after a show or having a shot. Guys would be like, oh man, we had a great show tonight. Let's go out and celebrate.
yeah,
And, now that John Moxley's sober, he's like, now my after work ritual is non alcoholic beer.
yeah,
He's like, because I got to have something in my hand. He's like, because I don't want to go to the bar and fall into my old habits.
exactly.
So he drinks non alcoholic beer.
Uh
He's like, yeah, after I have a great show, he goes, man, I should get a sponsorship for this.
huh.
He's like, everybody's like, he goes, nobody will call me a pussy because they know I can actually fight.
Yeah,
He's like, I mean, he goes, guys will probably call me a pussy behind my back, but they won't come to my face and say it.
right. And I'm so glad about Moxley that he came clean, and I hope he stays clean, yo. But let's talk about Jeff Hardy.
Oh God, Jeff Hardy, I love Jeff Hardy, I really do,
Well,
but
here's the thing. This time, Jeff, I think, and I said it in my one video, in the video I did. I think Jeff Hardy digged the hole too big for he can't crawl out of, because he was driving DUI. He was
well,
driving without license, and he did a show where he was drunk as fuck, and he told the fans that he was drunk, and he did his shot in front of the fans.
and that's probably why Tony Khan said, I'm done with you.
Yeah. Do you think it's too late for Jeff?
I do. I think Jeff's career is over
Yeah.
because he just put his brother's career in jeopardy.
What do you mean?
He put Matt's career in jeopardy because Matt was the one who told Tony Khan to bring Jeff in.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Matt was like, yeah, he's doing good. He's sobering up. Matt got sober.
He did.
Matt got sober, and Jeff has two daughters too.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't understand. What makes no sense? Like, why is it that you can't get clean?
Exactly. Like,
If your back is hurting that bad, then retire.
yeah.
If you can't do the swanton anymore, then tell them you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
If you can't do the big falls anymore, tell them like, hey, I can't do the stuff that I used to do because of my back.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go back to alcohol or drugs.
I agree. I agree.
I understand that is Jeff's forte, like doing the big falls, but dude, you're not 20 something years old anymore. You're in your 40s now.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about in the last show we did. We was talking about Chris Jericho. Look how many times Jericho revamped his character.
Uh huh.
Why? One, because it was getting stale. Two, he's getting old, so he needs to do a less more than what he used to do.
The thing about Chris Jericho, though, is Jericho's going to be a draw no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether he's on a mic or, like, he doesn't even have to be involved in a match.
Exactly.
He's still going to bring the fans in. He's still going to make the fans believe every word he's going to say.
Jericho could go down to the ring and have one of his crew member do a singles match, and he could set a chair outside that ring, and he just sit there, and everybody would love it. Why?
You know what?
Because it's Chris Jericho.
They will put Jericho on commentary. Like, Jericho will be on commentary watching one of his guys wrestle. He'll go in and he'll interfere in a match. But he's not doing a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, you noticed in the Blood and Guts match, Jericho didn't do a whole lot in that match.
Yeah.
He didn't do a whole lot. He had a few confrontations with people, but he laid down in the ring for the most part.
Exactly.
Jericho knew that he didn't have to do a whole lot of work because there was 11 other men in that match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jericho just laid down for most of the time. He didn't have to do anything.
Right. Everybody else the cameras were focused on everybody else. Everybody else was getting their asses beat.
Jericho was there just to make the match mean something. You know what I mean?
Right. Because it was to build his feud up with Eddie Kingston.
Exactly.
That's what it was for. Like, granted, him and Eddie didn't really have a whole lot of ring time in that match, but there was so much going on in that match, it was hard to focus on those two.
Yeah.
You couldn't just focus on those two.
Yep.
Because the cameras are going, it was chaotic, but it was good chaos.
Yeah.
It was a good chaos because you had so much going on. You had 12 other men in that match, or 11 other men in that match.
Uh-huh.
You had a 6-on-6 going on. There's blood, there's people going through tables, there's this going on, that going on.
There's Moxie power driving people through glass.
And that was the thing why I brought up Cornette. He's like, oh, it's stupid. He brought in sugar glass, and he's like, fans don't want to see that shit. And I'm like, you're fucking stupid. Of course we want to see that shit.
Exactly.
Fans want to see blood. Fans want to see somebody getting bloody.
So let me ask the chat this while we're on the topic.
Okay.
Do you guys rather see hardcore matches, or do you want to see good old-fashioned wrestling matches? Go ahead, yo.
I mean, but like that's what fans love. Fans love to see violence, man.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see the car crash. We want to see people getting their asses whooped. Like, yeah, I want to see a good wrestling match. I do, but I don't mind an occasional I don't mind seeing blood in a wrestling match.
Yeah, you know it just when somebody's bleeding in the match, it just gives it a new meaning to it.
It adds an extra layer to the match.
Exactly.
You have two guys who absolutely hate each other. Of course they're going to make each other bleed.
Exactly.
Of course they're going to want to hurt each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this is where I don't get what watching on it was nobody wants to see blood.
Well, you know, like me and you said, and like Joey said, Cornette is too old school. He don't think of new school because he's stuck on the old school wrestling.
But come on now, how many times has Flair bled in NWA?
Way too many.
So you're going to tell me that there wasn't blood back in the old days? You're fucking lying, Cornette.
Exactly.
Shut up. You don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I quit watching Cornette's podcast because he, I don't, I don't know if he's on got something going on or he on drugs or something, but some of the shit he says it don't make sense, Chris.
He reminds me of Scott Steiner.
Yeah,
Like when Scott Steiner would I get on the microphone, you never knew what he was going to say.
no,
I'll never forget, like when he was in the NWO and he was in the ring on the mic. He's like, "Hey, coming in, I'm gonna beat your ass." And like somebody had to tell him, like, "Coming in the NWO, dude." And he's like, "Oh,
right.
never mind." Then
And let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Other than a few tag team he managed in WWE, because I can't think of any right now. But the only two things that he is known for in and wrestling, any wrestling, is the Midnight Walkers.
which was a total failure.
Yes, and Smoky Mountain Wrestling,
Yeah,
which was a failure too,
right.
because the like yes, Midnight Rockers was huge in NWA, but when they went to WWE, they flopped on their faces.
Because everybody said they were rip off of the Rock and Roll Express,
They
which they were.
was.
They were a total rip off.
They total rip off. And you know, Rock and Roll Express is one of huh?
You remember when WWE tried to bring back the Midnight Rockers and try to make Bob Holly and who was the other guy?
Bob Holly and oh wasn't it Bolt Gun?
Yeah, it was Bob Holly and somebody else.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but that
Me neither.
it wasn't good.
No, because they even had Joe Cornette in their corner,
Yeah,
and they could not get into their fans were
yeah,
saying,
yeah, and they was called the New Midnight Express.
yeah, that's right. They were the Midnight Express,
Yeah,
the new Midnight Express.
that reminds me of when they tried to do a fake Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah, that was a failure.
It,
And Kevin Nash was actually Glenn Jacobs.
yeah,
It
Diesel
was,
was Glenn Jacobs. I don't know who was Razor Ramon. Do you?
I can't remember his name.
I'm like, what? What the hell is this?
But the fake Diesel was Glenn Jacobs.
Yep. Which I give him credit. He did an excellent job as Diesel, but it wasn't fooling anybody.
It didn't last very long.
It didn't.
I think they had like 2 matches and then
Something like that. Yep.
it was like 2 matches and the fans still wasn't buying it.
Yep. I I I was on Facebook earlier, and I happened to go past a picture that one of the wrestling uh, shows posted on Facebook, and it was when DX uh, dressed up as Nation of Domination. You remember that?
That was great.
That was great.
And it was funny because X Pac was Mark Henry.
Yep. Yeah.
And I forget who Road Dogg was the Godfather.
Yeah. Yep.
And they just had some random white dude as Owen Hart.
Yep. And then Triple H was The Rock.
Yeah, he called himself the Croc.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
So let me ask you this:
Okay.
if Hulk Hogan, instead of Hulk Hogan joining NWO, instead of Hogan joined NWO at was it Great American Bash?
Yes.
What if Sting joined NWO? Did you think that would last?
I don't know because Sting was a baby face for most of his career. Every time when WCW tried to make him heel, it didn't make any sense.
Uh,
Sting was not a good heel.
he wasn't. He
It was
wasn't.
like he was walking around with that ball bag. He had the world title on his shoulder. He had Elizabeth on his side, and Elizabeth didn't even do much. She just kind of followed him around.
Yep. And you know, the reason why I asked you this, because I told Joey I would ask you, because Joey asked me, and I was like, I don't know, because maybe because Sting didn't have the star power as Hogan did back then, but he had the star power in WCW. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but if you think about it, when Sting introduced a Crow character, when he started like being mysterious and not talking, because remember, he went a whole year without saying a word.
he did.
Like he didn't say a word, and they kept the fans invested. Like
Yeah.
they were like, when does Sting want to talk?
And I agree with Joey. I agree with Joey. Joey said it would have worked, but the only reason they went with Hogan is because Hogan had the star power that Sting didn't have.
I can see that point.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think Sting's character just wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't have fit. It wouldn't have fit. And it goes to show you that if you remember correctly, when the Wolfpack went on its own, and it was Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in the Wolfpack, right?
Yeah, and then there was Sting and Luger.
Yep, yep. And then Hulk Hogan had the original NWO, the black and white. It
Well,
goes to show you, huh?
if you think about it, the original NWO was Hogan, Hall, and Nash.
Yeah, but
Without all the leftovers.
true. But Hogan had the black and white, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The reason why the Wolfpack Red and Black was so much cooler than the black and white is because Kevin Nash and Scott Hall was cool as fuck, when
yeah.
Hogan was lame as fuck.
Well, Hall and Nash, they had personalities,
They did, but
and when they was with Hogan, they brought out his personality.
yes, but
But when
when they split up, Hogan went his own way with the black and white. They wasn't as hot as red and black because Hogan.
I remember the shirts, like the black and red shirts, were like hot.
They
I remember I
was,
ordered.
yeah,
I remember I ordered an FWO black and red T-shirt. It took me a year to get it because they were sold out.
yeah. I remember that. I remember those days when the black and white T-shirts wasn't selling then. But when it was just Hogan, Hall, and Nash, they were selling merchandise.
Oh yeah.
And then what ruined NWO, and this is true, Chris, what ruined NWO was when they got all these different groups of NWO, and almost all the rosters on WCW was NWO.
Yeah. Yeah. You had it. Pretty much 90% of the roster was NWO, and whoever wasn't in the NWO was getting their asses beat.
Exactly. Yup.
Like the NWO pay-per-view sold out. I hated those shows.
They wasn't good.
I hated the sold out shows because guys would because like you it took like the NWO like a half hour just to come out to the
Yeah.
ring.
Yep. And
And when you did the sold out shows, you didn't see Hogan, Hall, or Nash.
nope.
You saw everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, Hogan, Hall, and Nash might make an appearance for like 5 minutes and then leave.
Yeah.
And like everybody else, the people who nobody really cared about were still.
Yep.
And you knew the NWO was going to win every fucking match
Exactly.
because they had their own referee.
Yeah.
They they had their own referees. It was an NWO show, and I hated it. And I hated it.
Yeah.
See, I remember the first one. I was like, "Oh, this could be pretty cool." I begged my dad to order it. Sold out, right?
Uh huh.
The first one. I was so pissed off that my dad ordered it. Like,
It sucked, dude, because none of the they none of the WCW wrestlers won that any of those matches. They got their
no.
asses whooped.
The only time a WCW guy won a sold out was when Diamond Dallas Page faced Scott Hall
Yeah.
in a match, and he ended up giving the referee a diamond cutter because he didn't count the three.
Yeah.
And uh, the head of WCW's referee, I forget his name now, Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda came down and counted to three.
Yep. I remember that. I remember that.
And then like Hogan, Hall, and Nash came running down, but Page got out and went in the crowd.
Yeah. Well, you know. Speaking about NWO, where you remember, I don't remember what pay per view it was, Chris. So you have to remind me. It was Kevin Nash versus Goldberg.
Oh
When
God,
Scott Hall came down and tasered Goldberg.
yeah.
Well, you know
He,
that was originally supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be Goldberg beat Kevin Nash. But it was like a last minute change to where Kevin Nash goes over on Goldberg.
wasn't that Bash at the Beach?
I think so. I don't remember.
It
I
was
just
either
remember it was so the ending. The match was great, but the ending was awful.
yeah. Yeah, and everybody was because after that Goldberg went on a losing streak, and that
Yeah,
was when WCW because
yeah,
Goldberg was the last piece of string that kept WCW going, his undefeated streak.
yeah,
Everybody was wondering when is Goldberg going to lose? When is Goldberg going to lose?
yep. And then
Like, you know,
right after that, guess what? The finger poker death happened.
yep.
Yep.
And then that
And
is
I don't care what they say. Like Hogan says that he had nothing to do with it. He's upset with it. But bro, you still went with it.
yeah, because I believe it was Nash who told him like the fans are going to be pissed,
Yeah,
and Hogan said, "I don't care.
yeah,
We're going to do it." He goes, "I have creative control." And Nash said, well, you know the fans aren't going to be happy with this. And Hogan said, "I don't give a fuck what the fans think."
mm-hmm.
And Hogan has gone on record and even said that he said that. He said, "Back then I didn't care."
Yeah.
He said, "I didn't give a fuck about what the fans thought."
Because all they cared was money.
Well, even Hall and Nash, like, you know, after WCW's demise, they were still getting paid.
Yeah, yeah. Because you think about it, all three of them was at the end of their career, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they just gonna think about money. I would have if I was at the end of my career.
like those three were offered mega deals. I think
Yeah.
they were making $170 million a year,
Yeah.
like $200 million a year. And back then, that was a lot of fucking money.
Oh, hell yeah. Exactly.
Like those three got like these huge fucking deals from WCW, and they had they were getting 50% of the profits from their merchandise sales.
Yeah.
So really, WCW wasn't making shit from them
No, they wasn't.
because all of their merchandise sales. Because you got to think about it, they had to pay the people that made the shirts.
Yeah.
They had to pay for them shirts to be delivered.
Yeah.
And so Hogan, Hall, and Nash are making 50% of the profits. Meanwhile, WCW might have only been getting like 10% of the profits while they were paying everybody else, if they even made money from
Yep.
those shirts. So yeah, who was making the money really? Not WCW.
Hell no, not WCW. They wasn't making shit.
Hogan, Hall, and Nash, they made a lot of money from WCW.
Yeah, they do. They did. They did.
And Kevin Nash even came out and said it, like, in that documentary, he said when WCW was going out of business, he goes, we were still getting paid through Warner.
Yeah.
So I didn't care. He said, I didn't care what happened. He said, either way, I was making money.
Yep.
He was getting paid to sit on my ass at home. He goes, I didn't have to work another day in my life.
Yep.
I believe he said in 1 year, through all their merchandise sales, Kevin Nash said he made a profit of $300 million or something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, they was making big bucks then. Like, you know, that's why I'm afraid of AEW, because AEW is offering big money too.
But they're not offering $100 million contracts.
Yeah.
They're paying guys like 10, 12 million, and it's not even the like Malachi Black. His contract is he's only making like $4 million a year.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're making like really, really big money.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what Claudio's making. I know Brian Danielson, they probably paid a pretty penny to get him. I think it's more the bigger stars like Brian Danielson. Of course, John Moxley. Of course, they're going to pay John Moxley. His merchandise is going to make that money back.
Exactly.
I don't think AEW is going to. I think they're smarter than what we give them credit for.
Yep.
Of course, you're going to pay a guy like Brian Danielson money to come to your company. He's
Yeah.
the biggest star out there.
Yeah.
But he's hurt right now.
Yes, he is.
I read something the other day that somebody said that they think that how much longer can Brian Danielson go? How much longer can he put on 5-star matches without paying the consequences?
Right.
And it's true. It's true though. Because how many more concussions is it going to take for you to realize that you can't do this anymore?
Yeah.
I love Brian Danielson. Incredible wrestler.
Oh, I do too.
Probably the best wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
The man is so gifted, athletically gifted, and he has a great intelligence for the business.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to think about your health, dude. You got 2 kids. You got 2 little girls at home, man, that depend on you.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, that goes with that goes with oh, Who was the other guy, Chris?
What other guy?
That
Christian?
no
Are you talking Christian?
Edge. Like how much more Edge can do? You know what I mean? Christian too, cause off his concussions. How many more years do they got, Chris?
I think Christian went to AEW because he wanted one last leg.
Yeah,
He wanted to have one last hurrah in his career.
yeah,
Because WWE wasn't letting him wrestle, and he figured, well, AEW will let me wrestle, but they really don't let him wrestle a whole lot.
they don't.
And I understand why they didn't let him wrestle, because of his history with injuries.
Yeah,
Whereas for Bryan Danielson was wrestling on a weekly basis,
yeah,
and he was taking some major bumps too.
yeah. He was.
Like, I mean, he was taking like snap suplexes, landing on the back of his head. You know, like, and every time I would see him land on the back of his head, I'm like, I would just hold my breath.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I know like the injury that he has, that has nothing to do with a concussion. It's a leg injury that he's got.
Right.
It has nothing to do with his head or nothing, which is a good thing. That it's not a head injury. It's a leg injury.
Exactly. We're going to give you guys a few more minutes to participate in the giveaway contest. Like $15 ain't much, but $15 is $15. Everybody needs $15 nowadays.
What kind of gift card is it?
Just a regular gift card, but they can use anywhere.
So they could redeem it for like Amazon or like Walmart or.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I see a bright future for AEW.
I do
I
too.
don't I don't see. I remember when me and you talked about AEW when it first started,
Uh-huh.
and we both said how many years can they go? And here they are in year 3, and they're already worth over $4 billion.
Yep.
Like, that tells you something, that Tony Khan knows a little something.
Yep.
I mean, it helps that he has like veterans like Chris Jericho
Exactly.
that can tell him what he's doing right and what he's doing wrong.
I gotta go pee, yo.
Really? Didn't you just go to the bathroom?
Yep.
God damn you. Well, we're going on like 2.5 hours anyways. Uh,
What up, man?
what up, brother?
Somebody's in there.
You gotta hold it.
Yep. But I agree with you. Jericho, if it wasn't for Jericho, AEW probably wouldn't have made it.
Well, I mean, it's not even just Jericho. Well, and also, like, I heard Kenny Omega's injury has set him back, too.
Yeah.
Because they was expecting Omega to be back on Forbidden Door, but he wasn't. Because they wanted to do Omega versus Jay White for the IWGP Heavyweight title.
Right.
Because they have a history together. They don't like. They have a rivalry. They never liked each other.
Yeah. I'm gonna name
Well,
the contestant, yo. Then we're gonna wrap this up.
All right, yo. Who is the lucky winner this week, Will?
The lucky winner is Mom's Time. So,
It's what?
Mom's Time.
Mom's Time.
Yep.
Hell of a name.
P PM me on Facebook or Twitter, whichever you like to follow me on. PM me your email, and then I will email you. And then you have 24 hours to reply back to the email. And
Good.